Sam Osborne is off the road, and that looks like it's down at the old hairpin, sort of McLean's Schrott's curve area. Yeah. So this is how it happened. He's off the road. Oh yes, he spun across the track, hasn't he, coming out of the old hairpin across the circuit, where the old spark plug commentary box used to be.
It's actually skating, looking on the screen from about there. Look, you see the wiggle, and that's where the car just picks up on the water and aquaplanes.
And you could also see coming down the hill, just left and right of the racing.
Because you can't, I mean, if you had a whole load of cars barreling, look at that, just completely aquaplaning. That is sadly just too much water, but everything filters down to
a couple of laps later behind a safety car.
Yeah, well, that's that Moffat one there. Listen to the throttle. That's him on full throttle trying to straighten that car up.
Ingram managed to hold that first position into turn one.
Driver in the background, that might be Osborne off the road, but certainly at high speed into the barriers goes one of the Fords. It is Sam Osborne.
We thought he'd never be back out, and he was back out later in the day, so don't write Sam Osborne off yet. Was there a touch?
There might well have been.
Yeah.
It looked like a Vauxhall behind him, but yes, you're right, it was a big impact at very high speed. But the good news is these are strong cars. Sam's okay.
See if we can just spot anything that happens to Sam Osborne, the car 3 in front on the left. There's a little touch there with De Leon, I think. And as Sam Osborne gets sideways, and then there's a passenger. He is such a fighter, Rob Huff, and he has so much experience in so many cars. Oh, there's a touch there. All 3 of them get together. Do they keep going? Huff's got his foot buried to get through the gravel. That was a shame, wasn't it?
Rowbottom is at the back of the pack. It's Mikey Doble ahead. Rowbottom gets on the wet, hits Doble, who gets like a cue ball fired into Huff.
Yeah, Rowbottom into the back of both of them, and there may be a visit to the steward's bus as a result of that.
At the time, buries his foot, tries to drag the car out of the corner, out of the gravel.
Is that Ronan Pearson?
Yeah, I think it is. He's gone off the road, finds a big puddle and a bigger puddle and another one, and hopefully can get himself off that friction-free grass. He's just about done it. There you've got Ash Sutton in 7th place, and he's looking to gain ground. And there's drama in the background. There's a Napa Ford sideways. There's Watson in and out the gravel. All that momentum helping him get up the inside. Drama in the background. Darryl De Leon off the road at high speed. He's in the gravel, and he might well be staying there.
Let's just have a look.
It's all self-induced, isn't it?
Yeah, just lost it. Just lost it. Yeah, Ronan Pearson's problem in race 1 when he went off was the power steering failing.
Right.
And maybe he's had similar problems again.
Jake Hill to the inside line, finds a gap, there's contact, and Ingram has to get across the gravel. Huff goes with him because there was nowhere they could make the corner, and as Huff comes back onto the circuit, Morgan, though, he's falling back through the train, isn't he, as Watson again tries to squeeze up the inside, and off go 2 of them. Morgan is one, and was that Ronan Pearson in the other? No, it's Jake Hill who's got involved in it, and Jake's in the gravel.
So Morgan comes across and makes contact with Pearson, and then Pearson...
No, it's Ronan Pearson in the gravel, wasn't
it was
not
Ronan
Jake Hill.
Pearson, not Jake Hill.
Yeah. So there they are, into the barriers.
Fortunately, it's a glancing blow, so no huge damage, but it's Pearson that then ends up in the gravel. I'd like to see that to their face. Rob Huff, you're a softie.
That's Jake Hill in the gravel. Jake Hill has gone straight on at Druids. This is looking through the windscreen, so you can't really see the driver at work. Just off the turn.
It didn't turn at all, but whether he had the brakes all locked up, the front's locked up completely. Well, he's feeling the steering. Wow, the steering's broken. Look at that.
That's why he didn't turn.
Completely broken. He's telling the team, he's on the radio saying the steering's broken, nearly half a second behind. So, we got a spin there. I think that's Adam Morgan. It is.
Yeah.
We don't want a yellow flag for a long time, do we? So...
That's the other replay from the drone as he slithers off backwards. And the rain is getting heavier, we understand. And this was what happened to Josh Cook. So on that lap, he'd done a personal best in sectors 1 and 2, and then it all got away from him down at the S's. And not for the first time the car was sideways, but
he was struggling at the end of the lap, wasn't he? There was some contact there. I'm not sure who that was.
Here's the replay. This is on board with Chilton contact. That was possibly what you saw. And look, he's on the outside line. And then did the car almost get tipped up?
It was a second hit. Yeah.
So not really in the championship hunt. Darryl De Leon's had a spin coming out of Riches. That was Sam Osborne almost getting caught up in avoidance. Darryl flips the car out of harm's way, one hopes, but And this was how it all happened.
Got wide halfway through the corner, lost the rear, ended up spinning back onto the track and giving Sam Osborne a very anxious moment as he came round the corner. There he is, Sam Osborne was wide himself, almost followed the line.
By being off the track. That's Ronan Pearson, and he's having a drama at Coram.
Yeah, it's quite damp still on the. Look, that's actually at
Williams.
Williams,
yes. Yeah. Watson caught out, and this is how it looked.
He just came in with a bit too much speed, lost the rear on the brakes, got launched over that curve, and he's on wets. Remember, he's in second place on wets.
And there it is from another angle. But it hits the curb, really unsettles the car, fires it out towards the boonies. Ash Sutton off the road, and it was at Williams, and he's off, and he's just a passenger on the wet grass, and kaboom, into the wall, damages the left-hand side of the car. He'll try and limp it back, but he's out of the points anyway now.
Jake Hill on wets, absolutely storming around the outside. He only just found room. Look at him, sweeping around the outside on those wets.
Sam Osborne's sideways, big cloud of smoke. He's still sideways. He's gone bush all over the weeds on the outside of the road. Then he's Aidan Moffat. Replay of Sam Osborne's big lose at the start. Jake Hill came within an ace of clobbering him.
Yeah, he did. He did well to save it, Sam.
Yeah.
He sort of planted his foot to bring the front round, but all it did was drag it all the way round and off the track. That probably did him a favour to get him out of harm's way.
That was Josh Cook's view, and there Bobby Thompson being forced out wide. Now there, look, contact. That was Huff into De Leon and De Leon into Smiley, but it was Huffy that triggered all that.
Yeah, but he had a car on his left forcing him. He had the likes of Thompson and Camish really struggling.
Replay of Josh Cook having a big moment, and then behind him Aaron Taylor-Smith. Mikey Doble having an even bigger moment. Mikey Doble all crossed up.
Actually, they've lost a lot of ground there on the wet part, haven't they?
Yeah, but big slide by Moffat, and it's all got crossed up, so Huff goes through. Moffat,
though, but that's a lot. But his eyes are pretty wide open there, as are all the drivers right out wide. Thank goodness for Andrew Watson. The grass was nice and dry there. 2 minutes 16 to go.
Oh, big
crash.
drama. Aaron Taylor-Smith on the back part of the circuit. And that was a big old hit, and he's going to try and get the car moving, but he's done the rear suspension. Look, you can see on that left rear corner how the suspension is all broken. He's got it moving. Fair play, because that was a big, scary moment and a scary part of the circuit. But in a moment, that car is liable to get away from him again. And look at that. Big, big lose. Around it bounces. And wait for the impact. Bang.
That's the left-hander at Noble. And remember, the right rear tyre on these cars is the coldest tyre. I know it's a warm day, but he's crabbing that car back to the pits.
Now let's try and work out, if we can, what went on to trigger a safety car on that opening lap, because the leaders went through okay. That was what happened. It was the furniture being pushed into the road.
How absolutely ridiculous to put a pile of tyres basically in front of the drivers.
And it was Andrew Watson that hit it with the tyre stack in the middle.
Ash Sutton got a bit too much wheel spin. Oh no, it's been a turn. I think that's Camish.
It's Rowbottom, isn't it, who's in the tyres? Dan Rowbottom, who always seems to be the one to get the bad luck.
They were both slow out, and through went Aaron Taylor-Smith.
Ash Sutton is doing absolute best in sectors, and a big, big lose there. That is Aidan Moffat off the racetrack at very high speed, and around and around and around he goes.
Goes to the inside. I think he gets past, and as he moves back to take the line, he just moves across the front of Chilton and gets tagged on the back. And that's that speed, that a tiniest touch is enough to spin you off. But I think he wasn't clear to move over.
And this is the opening lap. Now look, that's Rob Huff getting turned sideways in the pack, but further up the road, there, it was Turkington, I think, that tagged Rowbottom. Dan sort of came across the front, and the angle was just enough to turn him across the front. For the first time of asking, good getaway by Aaron Taylor-Smith. Looks squeezing up the inside, contact with Morgan. It gets crossed up. Cook got round the outside, and there's mayhem breaking out. Huff goes off the road. The casualty is Adam Morgan, who's facing the wrong way.
A lot of bunching going on towards the front on the inside. Will he go to the outside? Oh, that was the cat. They all ran into each other. He was completely unsighted, so had a little tap into the back of Smiley. Not much in it. Rob Huff is the Toyota to your left in front. Now watch it all kick off. Well, he actually got a good run through there, didn't he? But then he got put on the grass. Yeah, he's got Josh Cook on the outside. Oh, but it was Chilton, was it? Who was bunched up in the middle and just couldn't avoid the back of Morgan's car. But they were three abreast into the corner.
But Josh Cook round the outside, and then look, there's that enormous gap that opens up as everybody has to avoid the incident.
Yeah, absolutely. It did well to avoid it, but that worked out perfectly for Josh Cook. Look, it was a last-minute lunge, but Sutton ran a little bit deep into the corner, enabling Smiley to get on the power earlier, but Sutton pushed him a little wide there. That was a bit rough and ready.
And a spin for Colin Turkington. Gosh, you don't see that very often. So whether there was contact that did that, we'll try and deduce, but Colin Turkington falls back. And a replay here of Sam Osborne. Yes, very nearly getting towards the Napa Racing Hospitality unit on the outside of Sammy. And here, look, on board with Sutton. That's round the outside, Roll Huff and a BMW of Turkington in real strife. Turkington's got drama. Huff is up into second place. Turkington go to the complex. Look back for the BMW. Yeah, he's got a hit. Yeah, that was Sutton.
Sutton into the back of Turkington. At the same time, both watching his mirrors and looking at Turkington, Sutton goes for the move, but Turkington covers it off, and Sutton can't get off the brakes quickly enough, and just taps the back of...
Have a look at Ash Sutton, just clips the back of the BMW, fires that across the grass, and Turkington goes out wide, but able to regroup, but he can't find a way through. And Adam Morgan is next up. He's another on the softs. Here goes Chilton, biffs Hill sideways, and off goes Jake Hill, heads towards the tyres, makes contact. He will rejoin, but he is going to be seething about that. This is how it all happened. He turns through the corner, just lost it.
No, I think that tyre went. I think that tyre went, which is why he spun round. It's the guy on the inside, which is Sutton.
Rob Huff was off the road and back on again, but he comes back on the inside, hits Sutton, gets him sideways, and Rob self-censors, does he? He doesn't get up the inside, he lets Ash recover, slots back in behind.
Look, it's good enough, or is it? He's going right round the outside, they're both off the circuit. Turkington's trying to close the door, there's contact at high speed, Turkington's off, he's going to hit the wall.
He is indeed. Turkington into the barriers, and that is a damaged BMW, and that could well be Turkington, should be Turkington out of the race.
Turkington was on the hybrid. He tries to close the apex there, but as soon as he's on the grass, he knows he's only going to end up in one place.
Hits the bar on the replay of the moment between Ingram and Turkington. Ingram tried to force his way up the inside, and bang, into the barrier goes the BMW.
Well, Colin was trying to, you can't see from that angle who was on the track and who was off.
This answers the contact. It may well have come from his teammate, because Doble and Taylor Smith get themselves together. Then Darrell De Leon is next up, and the Vauxhalls entangle themselves.
Well, that's not going to go down very well with Adam Weaver and the Power Max team, is it?
If you haven't done a good lap, you're going to be in strife. Replay of Darrell De Leon's moment, sideways up the curb, way onto two wheels, through the gravel. That was Darrell De Leon going through, and I think this is his two-wheeling moment, isn't it? Way up on the curb and crash landing into the gravel.
But fair play to him, he came back.
Time disallowed for track limit, so he's still in the sixth, but he's down to fourth. This is De Leon in replay.
He did well to hold it. Through on the right, on the left, no, he just got wide, got into the gravel, lost the rear, and then spent the next 200 yards collecting it up, which he does very well.
Demolishes the adverts, gets back onto the circuit. Here a replay of Andrew Watson coming through, and there Tom Ingram on the outside of Chris Smiley. Then De Leon, the order as again Osborne is all sideways coming through Duffer's Dip.
And De Leon sees that, seizes the opportunity, runs out wide, pushes Sam Osborne off.
Here you go again, Tim. This is the replay.
Yeah, just a little tiny tap as they're turning in. Round, he saves the car, but in doing so has to run wide.
And then Ronan Pearson lets him have the place, and this is coming out of the chicane. He's wide, and it just snaps away.
Yeah, just puts a wheel in towards the gravel, and round it goes.
Coming down towards McIntyre, all sideways again, and he wallops the curb. That rattles his fillings.
Well, that's Scandinavian rally style. This is Camish behind Cook. Oh, and he lost the rear. Big acceleration to bring the front round. Well, a great save.
So that is the cork out of the bottle, and there's more late braking coming down to the hairpin and round the outside there. That was Josh Cook. 3 wide into the hairpin, didn't work, so Adam Morgan's going to benefit from all of that. Up into 4th place, Aidan Moffat, 5th, Sutton, 6th-ish is Morgan, because he's got Cook alongside him, and Cook goes off after contact. All the way across the grass. Can Josh save it? Yes, he can. Carl scattered behind him. The BMWs get together. Then Hill gets into Cook and turns him sideways. And off the road goes Cook through the tyre stack. That's kicking off all right. And Josh Cook in the gravel, but he's still moving.
So side by side, both cars, Cook and Moffat, are literally on the limit, bouncing around. There's that contact. Then he actually comes back on, at least facing the right way. But then the three BMWs trying to squeeze through, contact between Hill and Cook, and that's when see the right rear is broken there. Josh, because it's front-wheel drive, was able to keep it rolling. And
this is the field coming through Clark's, and Nick Halstead gets involved with Andrew Watson, and off he goes.
Yeah, just got turned around the front of him.
This is Jake Hill's view, and the Astras almost getting themselves together there.
Oh no, Doble slid into the side of Ingram and turned him around. Disaster for Ingram. Fend from his teammate Aaron Taylor-Smith, breaks too late, may have possibly got a little touch, but into the side of Ingram he clatters. Fortunately hits him amidships and not in the tyre. A major delay for Ingram. Here it comes, bang into the side.
And
Bit of throttle to pull the front round. Let's see, Cookie's got in there, got into a slide, had to hold it, shoots across the road, and through goes Sutton.
So Andrew Watson across the gravel. Well, he's been hit already, hasn't he? But you had cars going either side of the tar stack there, so there's a whole... But I thought that was behind Rowbottom. It looks like there might have been two separate incidents. Let's have another look. Ah, he gets it all sideways and hits the tar stack, launches the car up onto two wheels. You've talked before about putting obstacles in the way. There's more evidence of why they're not great. Helped a little maybe by the safety car, has been on pace alone, and Cook gets it all sideways and hits the tyres, delays him. Hill goes through for third.
Now let's look further back in the pack.
So Cook and Morgan get together. Cook goes wide. Morgan hits Cook. Cook hits Camish.
Yeah, well spotted, yeah. Into the Melbourne hairpin. Good thing for him. Oh, a spinner there. That's Morgan. Adam Morgan's been spun round.
It's Turkington. Colin Turkington facing the wrong way. This is Tom Ingram's view.
Well, it wasn't Watson, was it?
No,
So it must have been Huff.
Rob Huff, yeah, absolutely. Have a look at the second of the grey and yellow Toyotas. Three wide look. And he's on the outside, and he brakes, and there's contact.
Yeah. He was on the outside, tried to turn in with cars on the inside, just couldn't make it.
I think that was Andrew Watson, wasn't it, that made contact with him. Sam Osborne is there or thereabouts, but he was behind them both. It was Watson that was on the inside, Watson, so it was another of the Toyotas that's done that. And Aidan Moffat, who's had a pretty tough day at the office, still in strife, and now Josh Cook gets a tag from Adam Morgan, and that dislodges the other Toyota.
Here we come into Beckett's. Rowbottom just locks up, spears into the back of Cook, who does well to save the spin, but has to... Out wide, gets on the apron and then onto the grass. Lucky not to hit the wall there. We saw a Porsche hit the wall.
And now the spray becomes a real factor.
Oh, Camish has launched. He's just locked up and gone straight down the inside. That was an amazing first call.
Those tram lines are being filled in almost instantly. It's horrible.
The cars are aquaplaning. Look, Smiley's gone straight off. Turkington was aquaplaning coming out of Cops. We're not far, I'm afraid, off a safety car. You watch here. The car is snaking already on the water. It just can't. In fact, it was Morgan in front of him was also snaking, wasn't it? But once the car gets lifted up, there's Morgan going past now, and also that's Osborne gone through. So watch there. No way he can stop the car. No way he can stop the car. Can't even steer the car.
And he wasn't the only one getting it wrong, because Scott Sumpton has a big spin at Cops, and again you can see as he sort of washes through the standing water just how much has fallen. This is Aaron Taylor-Smith's view. He's ninth. I say view, you know what I mean, can't see much, can you? But he was ninth going down towards Cops, getting a bit swamped by the traffic. Darryl De Leon is on the left, and all of a sudden just slews across the front of Aaron Taylor-Smith. Scary.
But because Ingram is 11 points behind, and there's contact there between Zelos and Huff. Huff saves it and carries on. He's not going to get there. Ingram's got enough pace. Oh, he did hit him.
Big whack. Ingram survives it. Ash Sutton's going to have a look on the inside, but it's going to be Tom Ingram for the race win after the contact.
He hopes his car's going to hook up. It does hook up. The gap's there in front of him. He's driving into the gap, but Ingram is coming in from his wider line, and they make contact. Fortunately, he didn't spin out. It looks worse from that angle, I must say. But this is the that was Ingram wide as well, wasn't it?
All the ones that are up,
Yeah, there must have been some dirt on the track, I think, going into the circuit.
Yeah, though, because there's still a lap time left in it. And this was Dan Robotham, whose car suddenly snapped away.
It did snap very suddenly. That's what he said, was talking about that he never actually touched the barrier, miraculously.
Turkington is away in the race lead, and Josh Cook gets all sideways up the inside. Ingram gets involved with Sutton. Sutton's in the gravel. Ingram is delayed. Cook gets collected by Morgan. There's mayhem up at Druids, and Ingram is the first casualty in terms of the championship battle. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Cook's trying to follow Sutton through on Ingram. For some reason, he loses it there, just brakes too late, locks the rear, collects Sutton, collects Ingram, pushes him wide. Ingram just manages to keep going and avoid the gravel. Morgan gets involved, as does Huff, and I think possibly one of the other Napa cars as well. He's going up the hill, he's covered the inside. What he doesn't figure is the incoming Josh Cook there just clatters into him, pushes him just behind Tom Ingram, maybe on the exit of Druids, because, wow, he just braked too late, did Josh Cook, just purely too late. I bet at this point, now watch to your right, I mean, Ingram was going around the outside. Unfortunately, he had a little bit of an overlap, didn't he? If he hadn't had that overlap, Cook would have wiped Sutton across the front of it. Now, what may have happened is that Ingram made a small mistake somewhere, and that's a larger mistake.
Dan Zelos.
From Dan Zelos, but he's going to get back on.
And how did he get there?
Oh, that tyre went before he went off. It went halfway to the bottom of the hill on that maximum compression.
Turkington is under attack as well, up to Druids, and on the inside line, looks Aaron Taylor-Smith. He gets into the side of Turkington. That forces Turkington wide. Ingram is going to come out of the corner ahead of both BMWs now, because Turkington drops behind Hill, and he can't be any help from there.